Hello everyone and welcome back to Assassin's Creed Valhalla with me, Longclawvalhalla and Steel, where we always deliver. Well, Eivor is ready to leave all of the drama of his brother returning behind in the settlement. A strange and gregarious character has turned up asking for help. It seems that the young Hunwald has been banished from his father's kingdom. His father is an Ealdorman, and Eivor spots quickly enough that it is a potential ally. It seems that the young Ealdorman's son has been asked to stay away for his own protection, but this seems suspicious, and Eivor agrees to meet with him in his county and see what's going on. Follow the location on your map and join with Hunwald and another character in an alehouse, and we'll see how we get on.
Untwisted from
So here we are in Lincolnshire, in the alehouse with Hunwald and another character who seems to be a friend and confidant of your contact here. Pretty much straight away, Eivor attracts some attention and has a choice to make. Do you get into a fight in the bar, or do you offer to buy these guys a drink and opt for peace? All of these little choices have effects on how this story arc plays out for you, and I chose to not get into an altercation with them. Soon enough, once you're outside, you have to take on some guards who are trying to kill your contact Hunwald, and it seems that this is really the theme of this story arc, is going to be trying to protect this young man from his father's enemies. Once you've rescued him, you will then simply follow him and hopefully try to reunite him with his father, and you'll need to ride to the near Lincoln, and in the first scene you'll meet some of his father's advisors. One of them in particular is this old man who is very pleased to see Hunwald and welcomes him home. It explains that his father is not here and that his father was taken very ill and has left the city. So you need to track down and figure out his father's movements, and when you head to this building you can interact with the main sister. There are a few other contacts inside the building and they're red herrings, and she will point you in the direction of the bathhouse, and this is just a cover. There are some guards which you need to take out and try to head underground as quickly as possible, because this is going to be the entrance to the sewers, and this is an important part of the mission. There are a lot of guards here, and you'll notice you can pick up a lot of ammo. One way or another, either way, you could sneak through these, and I snuck through for a period of time, but eventually ended up taking out the last few guards. You just need to clear those enemies, and you then need to find your way upwards and keep following the linear path which will lead you towards Roaring Meg's Spring. This is a waterfall area, and there's some more clues here which you'll need to uncover and figure out precisely what happened. And it seems that Hunwald's father was here and was taken, but there is one final clue locked away behind a door, and as usual you'll need to find the key. You need to dive to the bottom of the waterfall to take the key off a dead body, and then you'll be able to get the final clue. It seems that from the clues you've divulged that it's possible that the Ealdorman, Hunwald's father, was taken to a nearby castle, and that's your next objective. This next part of the mission is very much like an Assassin's Creed classic, a massive fort full of guards which you need to fight your way through. And this is my favourite part of any Assassin's Creed game, where you need to go into a compound or a stronghold and take something out. Using your raven, you can see precisely where the compound is and where the keep is, and it looks like you need to work your way towards the top of the keep to figure out where he is. And what I chose to do is enter via the left hand side over the walls through a tower, just to get a size of the place and the reconnaissance that I thought was necessary. And then I just headed along that left side of the building and try to avoid getting into too much confrontation at this stage. And it doesn't really matter if you leave some of the guards alive at the front of the castle. Work your way towards the area where you need to be, unless you're a completionist and you want to go around and kill everyone and collect everything in the building. Then of course you can take your time, but I was doing this for speed where necessary, and it took me around an hour to go through this part of the mission. You need to climb inside the main keep, and there is a tunnel that leads inside the main keep, and that's where you're going to go. And you can tell that you're in the right place when you can see the guards in a larger population, and they're all clustered together. There are lots of areas where you can explore, and as I said, more gear that you can pick up, but I focused on this area in particular and chose to try to get the guards to come to the entrance by whistling at them, and I set a trap and blew up one of the guards. Once inside, you can pick up a letter, and there's a bit of a clue, and then there's just a path to follow for a cutscene where you will meet this good wife who it seems is caring for the Ealdorman that you're looking for. But after a short conversation, it's very clear that the Ealdorman has already passed away, and this woman has been asked to bring him here and tend to his body, but it seems to have happened some time ago, and she explains that she's been waiting for further instructions. Eivor is clear that he must take proof of his father's death back to Hunwald, which is the person who's hired him, if you like. After searching around, Eivor finds a small brooch, and you can take that all the way back to Hunwald and give him the sad news. At this particular moment, it becomes clear that there is going to be some kind of politic involved with this particular part of the mission. The next part, there are several noblemen and a bishop, as well as the good wife nun, who has been advising Hunwald and feels that he is not the natural successor to his father's seat as an Ealdorman. This is an important part of the mission for Eivor, because this is whoever he's going to become his ally. So follow the next two parts of the mission, and they're smaller, easier parts. One, you need to go to Hunwald and find him in the woods and interact with him, and this is just allowing you to make decisions about who you're going to cast your vote for. There's a bit of romance involved as well, as Hunwald, after protecting him in the woods, he explains he wants to go and meet with his lover, who happens to be a Danish warrior. And this is surprising to Eivor, but I think again it adds another dimension to the choice making part of this mission, and I think Eivor is quite impressed and feels that he's starting to bond with Hunwald here. The next character is Ealdorman, who is a very wealthy nobleman who is obviously trying to impress Eivor by introducing him to his Danish friends, giving him a handsome bow. During his mission, his settlement is attacked, and this helped me in making my decision here. If I felt that this guy is not popular and he was just trying to buy my vote, and already here I started to make up my decision. When it comes to casting your vote, you need to head to the next part of the mission, and I had already cancelled out the bishop as someone that I didn't want to cast my vote for, and I cast my vote for Hunwald, unsurprisingly so. This does have an effect on the way that the end of this mission plays out. I guess the bishop has already really identified himself as being someone who's a bit of a shady character, and upon choosing Hunwald, he then locked all of us inside the castle and ordered the guards to kill us. And this involves a combat scene before you can move on to the next part of the mission, which will track him down. And Eivor is at the centre of all of this and has no choice but to protect Hunwald, who is now raised up as the new Ealdorman. After taking out quite a large cluster of guards and reviving Hunwald, it's clear that the final part of the mission, the finale, will involve some kind of fortress, as the bishop has stolen himself away to a nearby stronghold. This will be very familiar territory. After a couple of advisory scenes and a couple of small missions following Hunwald to the rest of his forces, it is clear that we are now ready to take on Ancestor, which is a large fortress. And as these are some of the later story arcs, these missions get a little bit harder, and certainly the stronghold is a little larger. But it's usual business. We understand that there's a battering ram, and you have the choice to either man the battering ram and focus on the door, or focus on the guards above the battering ram and take them out and disable the cauldrons of fire which are raining down, and then take out the palisades, drop the drawbridge, and you will be inside. At this point it says find and assassinate the bishop, and I'm making my way up to the top of the building. I have either shoot through the window, and the final scene was way quicker than I thought it would be. He's just waiting there in the middle of the room, and I was able to assassinate him, and he identifies himself at the final death scene as a member of the Order who was cloaked as a bishop. So another member of the Order dispatched. This is not quite the end of the story arc for me. I felt, and after securing the alliance with Hunwald, he asks if his Swanborough, his lover, could come and reside with me at my settlement. And upon reporting back to Randy, I was forced into a conflict situation where I was asked to hold judgment, as Sigurd was sleeping and would not be roused. You sit in the chair, and Eivor listens to both parts of the conflict. We've been here before and done this before. It's actually the same guy, and I was preparing to wield judgment against him, and Sigurd comes out furious that I'm sat in his chair and doing his justice, and refuses to let me continue. Taking the seat as a Jarl, he refuses to listen to any more of the two settlement dwellers, and you have a major scene here which will affect the entire rest of the story for you. You either support Sigurd's judgment or oppose it, and I chose, after some consideration, to support it. It doesn't seem right to go against him, and I don't want to try to force the story into a bad ending. I'm not really sure how the story is going to play out with Sigurd and myself, but I did not feel that going against him was a smart move. I am his brother after all. Finish off reporting to Randy, and that is another story arc done. Thank you for watching this, and I'll be back with another video very soon.